All right, everyone, welcome to the super fast, last minute revision explainer that is absolutely going to get you ready for your board exams. Today, we're tackling one of the most important chapters in geography, India's relief features. Let's make sure we lock in those marks. Look, I know the pressure is on. The exam is literally just around the corner, and you need a quick, focused way to get all those key concepts down. Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to cover everything you need, and we're going to do it fast. Okay, let's just dive right in. Our mission today is simple. Blast through every single high-yield topic from this chapter. No fluff, just the core facts, the comparisons, and the definitions that are going to win you marks. So are you ready? Let's do this. First things first, we got to know where India is on the map, right? This first part is all about the numbers and coordinates that define our country's huge expanse. Think of it like the GPS coordinates for the start of our grand geographical tour. So take a look at this map. It shows you the precise boundaries of mainland India, and you need to pay super close attention to the north-south and the east-west extents. These specific numbers, they aren't just for show. They are pure exam gold. Here it is, the first number you have to burn into your memory. India's latitudinal extent is from 8 degrees 4 minutes north to 37 degrees 6 minutes north. Seriously, commit this to memory. Examiners just love asking for these exact values for those one-mark questions. And here's the other half of that puzzle. The longitudinal extent is from 68 degrees 7 minutes east to 97 degrees 25 minutes east. Again, this is perfect material for multiple choice questions, so lock these numbers in. Now, this line, 82 degrees 30 minutes east longitude, is a really important one. It's the standard meridian of India. It passes right through the middle of the country, and it's what determines our time zone, the Indian Standard Time, or IST, a super important fact to remember. Okay, moving on from location, our first major stop is the magnificent crown of India, the Himalayas. Let's take a look at how they were even formed, and then we'll break down their different ranges. So to really understand the Himalayas, you've got to know about Gondwana land. So way back when, the Indian peninsula was part of this massive southern landmass. It broke away, drifted north, and then, bam, it collided with the Eurasian plate. That colossal collision is what created the young fold mountains we now call the Himalayas. Now, the Himalayas aren't just one single range, no way. They're actually 3 parallel ranges, kind of stacked from north to south. You've got the northernmost one, the Greater Himalayas or Himadri, then in the middle, the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and finally on the outside, the Outer Himalayas or Shiwaliks. And hey, I've got a simple trick to remember the order. Just think great minds outperform. GMO. Easy, right? And this table, it breaks down the differences perfectly. This comparison is a classic exam question. The Himadri is the highest, it's home to glaciers. The Himachal is in the middle, famous for all its hill stations. And the Shiwaliks are the lowest and outermost, and they're known for these really unique valleys called dunes. So what exactly are dunes? Listen up, because this is a super common one-mark question. They're just the long valleys that lie between the Lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks. And of course, the most famous example is Dehradun. That's easy marks right there. And we can't forget the eastern extension of the Himalayas. Over on the eastern border, the Himalayas take a sharp bend to the south, and they form the Purvanchal. These hills, like the Patkai, Naga, and Mizo hills, are mostly made of sandstone. You'll want to keep these names in mind, especially for any map work. All right, let's move south from the mountains. We're arriving at our next major region, the Great Northern Plains. This is the agricultural heartland of India, and how it was formed is actually a fascinating story of rivers and, well, a lot of sediment. So this huge, vast plain was formed by all the alluvial deposits brought down by 3 mighty river systems. You've got the Indus in the west, the Ganga in the center, and the Brahmaputra in the east. This depositation process over millions of years created one of the most fertile regions on the entire planet. Okay, now for 2 key terms you absolutely have to know. First up, Pawbar. So as the rivers come pouring down from the mountains, they dump all these heavy pebbles in a narrow belt right at the foothills of the Shiwaliks. The key thing to remember here is that streams literally disappear underground because the ground is just so porous. So where did those rivers go? Well, they pop right back up just south of the Pawbar belt in this wet, swampy, and marshy region called the Terai. Always remember the connection. Streams disappear in the Pawbar and they reappear in the Terai. Next up, we're heading south to the oldest landmass in India, the Peninsular Plateau. This ancient tableland is flanked by two super important mountain ranges, and I'm telling you, comparing them is one of the most important topics in this whole chapter.
Okay, pay very close attention here because this is pretty much a guaranteed exam question. On one hand, you have the Western Ghats. They're continuous and they're higher, and their highest peak is Anai-Mudi. On the other hand, you have the Eastern Ghats. They're discontinuous, all broken up by rivers, and they're lower in elevation with Aromaconda as their highest peak. You have got to know these three differences by heart.
We're on the home stretch now. Let's quickly zip through the last few relief features to complete our tour. We've got the coastal plains, the Great Indian Desert, and our two main island groups. Okay, time for some quick-fire facts. For the Thar Desert, the one thing to remember is the River Luni. It's the only significant one there. For the coastal plains, you just need to know the names. The western coast has the Konkan and Malabar coasts, while the eastern coast is the Coromandel. And for the islands, the big difference is their origin. Lakshadweep is made of coral, while the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are volcanic. Got it? All right, this is it, the final rapid-fire round. I'm going to list the top 10 facts that you must have locked in your brain before you even think about walking into that exam hall. Let's go. 1. Gondwanaland, the ancient southern landmass. 2. Himadri, the highest Himalayan range. 3. Shivaliks, famous for duns. 4. Purvanchal, the eastern extension. 5. Babar, where rivers disappear. 6. Western Ghats, continuous, higher, peak is Anai-Mudi. 7. Eastern Ghats, discontinuous, lower, peak is Aromaconda. 8. Luni, the only river in the Thar Desert. 9. Lakshadweep Islands, made of coral. And 10. Andaman and Nicobar, they're volcanic. You got it? And that's a wrap. We have just covered all the major high-yield points of this chapter. Take a deep breath. You can always review these slides one more time if you need to. You've worked hard, you know this stuff. All the very, very best for your exams. You've totally got this.